Is it time to buy a house or not? This simple question has a complicated answer. Without a doubt, it's hard to know what to do in this rowdy and unpredictable housing market, especially with conflicting reports from leading media outlets. It almost seems like they're doing it on purpose, and the Federal Reserve seems to be making things worse. The housing market has taken its lumps, but like Rocky Balboa, it continues to trudge forward despite the beatdown. Before you buy a house, you should know, are we in a housing bubble? And if so, when will prices crash? Or will home values continue to increase? Because the housing market's so confusing, I'm gonna keep things simple. So strap in, because we're about to dive into the wild world of real estate and find out if it's time for you to make the move. And be sure to watch to the end, where I'll share some tips for getting the best deal on a house in this market. And one tip can save you tens of thousands of dollars. Now, you may have heard people say that it's always a good time to buy real estate. Is this true? Or is it a bunch of bull? Well, if you purchased a home in 2007, you watched in horror as the value of your home dropped by 30 to 35%. Clearly, this was not the best timing, but 15 years later, the value of that property has more than doubled, and in some locations, tripled. So even though your timing could have been better, it was still a good investment. And if you refinanced, when rates hit record lows, your mortgage payment would be significantly lower than what it would cost to rent for a similar property in your area. Not to mention, you'd have paid down a considerable portion of your principal. Each month when you make your mortgage payment, you pay the home down a little. After 30 years, your house should be paid off. That means you can live in that property the rest of your life for free. A lot of Americans are able to retire after paying off their home, and homeowners also receive large tax write-offs. These are just a few reasons why the majority of Americans' wealth lies within real estate, and why owning a home is the safest and fastest way to build wealth. But most of the benefits of homeownership aren't financial. Single-family home communities are safer, and it's hard to put a price on having your own space. You know, a place where you can sit back and relax at the end of a long day, where you can be yourself without judgment from the world. Now, renting isn't all bad. There are some benefits of paying rent, and for some people, this is the best option. But for most of us, the advantages of owning a home far outweigh the benefits you receive from paying rent. Clearly, there are great times to buy a house, and periods where you could have had better timing. But over time, home values have always gone up. And this is why they say it's always a good time to buy real estate. This leads me to one critical warning though. If you don't have a stable job, enough money in savings, or the monthly payment will push your limits, you should probably wait. Even if market conditions are perfect, if you're not ready, buying a house could be a huge mistake. Now, right now, most people who'd like to purchase a home are sitting on the sidelines due to these higher mortgage interest rates. I totally get it. These higher mortgage rates today suck. With these higher rates and increased home prices, you could be limited to purchasing a smaller home and possibly in a less desirable location. That's the reality of real estate in many parts of the United States today. At the end of September, rates hit 8% for the first time in a long time. Back in the 1980s, when I was just a little turd, rates hit 18%. And it seems crazy that someone would buy a house with rates that high. But to keep things in perspective, the interest rate to rent is 100%. In other words, when you pay rent, your money's gone forever. A lot of people have decided to just keep paying rent until rates go down. This might not be a bad decision if we weren't in a nationwide housing shortage. Whether you're talking about toilet paper or homes, low supply equals high demand, and high demand equals escalating prices. Right now, these higher mortgage rates are the only thing holding prices down. Well, that and the media, who's done a great job at scaring many into believing that the housing market could crash. More on this in a minute. This chart shows the cost of renting. Looking at the blue highlight, if you're paying $1,500 per month, you'd end up paying $18,000 per year, or $270,000 over 15 years. But this is not an accurate assessment of the cost to rent, because rent increases over time. Within 10 years, if you follow the red arrow, your rent could easily increase to $2,000 per month or $24,000 per year, equating to a realistic loss of over $300,000. If you choose to pay rent, you should assume that the cost will increase every year. When you purchase a home with a normal 30-year fixed rate, your payment will pretty much stay the same. Remember, after 30 years, often sooner than that, your house will be paid off and you can live rent-free for the rest of your life. The sooner you buy, the sooner you can start the countdown to retirement. And let's not forget that over time, home prices have always gone up. So with each passing year that you pay rent, you'll fall further and further behind. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I should have bought a house a few years ago. Honestly, my heart breaks for those of you who missed that golden opportunity to purchase a home before prices skyrocketed and when interest rates were sub 3%. But it is what it is. I have my regrets as well. I was so busy helping clients during these golden years that I didn't invest in real estate the way that I should have. It's a tough pill to swallow, but home prices will not fall back down to where they were a few years ago. And I wouldn't plan on ever seeing mortgage rates in the 2s again. Now, I'm a huge proponent of using data to see where the market has been and look for trends so we know where the market is going. These charts from Redfin show what happened over the last 5 years. At the top, you can see that currently the median sales price for a single-family home in the United States is $440,000. Looking back at 2018, prices were at $294,000. In less than 4 years, home prices skyrocketed, peaking at $455,000. That's an increase of $161,000 during that short period. Prices bottomed out in January 2023 at $400,000. Then prices increased during the traditional buying season. Looking at the most recent data, as we move into a typically slower time of the year, prices seem to have settled in around $440,000. That means we're only down by $15,000 from the peak. So even with these higher mortgage rates, home prices have still increased so far in 2023. By the way, if you find this information helpful, please give me a thumbs up so others know that this video is helpful. For the most accurate and up-to-date real estate news, please subscribe and ring the bell to be notified each time I post new videos. I appreciate your support more than you could ever know, and it allows me to continue to make these videos to help awesome people just like you. Thanks. Okay, so with skyrocketing home prices, could we see a market crash, or are we in a housing bubble? To be blunt, there will not be a crash. The market peaked in 2022 and prices fell through the end of the year. The housing correction varied significantly from metro to metro. In Salt Lake City, we saw prices drop by $100,000 in just a few short months, but prices in most locations have increased in 2023. In other words, the market crash, or more appropriately, the housing correction, already happened. So is it a good time to buy a house? The answer probably seems obvious at this point. And I hate to say this because it sounds so salesman-y, but the best time to buy real estate in the next 5 to 7 years, and maybe ever, is right now. I'm not trying to scare you, there's no need to panic, but if I was looking to purchase a home, I would do it before the end of this year. You probably have 3 to 4 months to purchase a home before prices increase again. Hopefully for home buyers, the market will sputter over the next few months, maybe into February. Prices will increase or decrease only slightly depending on where you live. But don't expect to see major movement in either direction until the normal buying season for your market. In Utah, along with many other locations, the housing market traditionally starts to pick up in February. Buyers enter the market at this time of the year and home values typically increase the fastest. But once again, we can't ignore that one variable that will determine how quickly things change and how drastic that change will be. If you're ready to purchase a home, keep a close eye on those mortgage rates. If they stay high through the beginning of the year, we can expect a slower than normal recovery. But if rates drop below 6.5%, a lot of buyers will enter the market. As rates continue to fall, the number of buyers will increase and home prices will surge. Once again, you don't need to panic and rush out and buy a house today, but you'll want to be prepared. So as promised, here's my tips on how to get the best deal on a home in today's market. Start by getting pre-qualified. If you're looking to buy a house in Utah, I know several great lenders. Feel free to reach out to me for their information. The lender will tell you how much house you can afford and what your monthly payment will be at today's rates. This number will probably be higher than what you like. So you're going to ask your lender, how much of a concession do I need from the seller to pay all my closing costs and for a rate buy down? Do not ask the seller for a price reduction. A rate buy down will significantly reduce the monthly mortgage payment and save you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of that loan. Now that you know how much home you can afford with that buy down, start looking at homes in your preferred locations that meet your criteria. Reach out to a trusted realtor who can send you the newest listings each day and keep you posted when there are price reductions. If you see a home that you like, your agent can schedule time for you to see that property. Right now, you can take your time and wait for the right property to come along. But if interest rates start to drop suddenly, you might want to jump on something fast. This is a huge advantage to having a pre-approval and knowing the market. If you need to sell your home to buy a home, you'll also want to start by talking to a lender to see how much home you can afford with a rate buy down and closing costs paid by another seller. Keep in mind, you'll likely need to do the same thing for a buyer on your home. And remember that you might not be able to sell your house for as much as you thought. Your local realtor can provide an accurate value of your home. If you're satisfied with the numbers from the lender and the valuation of your house, you're good to list your home for sale. Now there's an amazing option that shockingly many buyers never consider. And without a doubt, this is the best strategy for buying a house in this market. You could very realistically save tens of thousands of dollars more by doing this. What am I referring to? Home builders. As a new home construction expert, I work with a lot of people who want to build a home. And I've negotiated some unbelievable deals for my clients that far exceed what sellers of existing homes are willing to do. I highly recommend building a home at this time for several reasons. First, builders have reduced their prices. In many locations, the cost to build is lower than what existing homes are selling for. Builders need to keep selling homes, and they're willing to accept a smaller profit margin. Second, builders are offering incredible incentives. Many are willing to pay a closing cost and for a rate buy down. Others are offering free upgrades or credit at the design center. Third, builders are more willing to negotiate. This might mean a lower price, additional incentives, and more flexibility on a closing date, or if you have a home to sell. In general, building a house is a better option than buying existing for several reasons. For example, you can choose a floor plan that fits your needs. Some builders will even let you customize that floor plan to make it even better. You also get to choose your home site and the options you care most about. There are loads of incredible benefits, but there's one massive advantage to building a house right now that trumps everything. Because mortgage rates are expected to come down, and because the builder will likely take 8 to 12 months to construct your home, your payment on a brand new home several months from now could be hundreds of dollars less than if you purchased a home today. Once again, this could save you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of that loan. At this moment in time, and for the next few months only, you can lock in a lower price and get a great incentive. Then patiently wait as rates come down while your home's being constructed. Once again, if you're looking to build a home in Utah, don't hesitate to reach out to me with your questions. I have a short list of builders that I trust and a naughty list of builders that I do not. And I love guiding people through the home build process. When you're done watching this video, you'll want to watch why right now is the perfect time to build a home. Look for that link below. Because the market has changed, you have to adjust your thinking. One of the biggest mistakes young people make is thinking that they need a house as nice as their parents. But many older individuals have spent most of their lives paying down a mortgage and building equity. This gives them the ability to move up to a bigger and better home with little change to their monthly mortgage payment. It's okay to start with a smaller home or in a location that's not quite where you wanted to be. Then a few years down the road, move up to a bigger and better home as your income rises, along with the equity in your home. It's not worth the risk to buy a home that pushes your budget. If you're looking to buy, sell, build a home, or invest in Utah real estate, I get contacted all the time. Please feel free to call or text me with your questions. I'd love to meet you, and I'm honored to serve you. For everyone else, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. I always do my best to respond to each one of you. If you have a friend or a family member looking to buy a home, you can easily text this video to them. And please, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell to be notified each time I post new videos. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Ty the Real Estate Guy. If you found this information helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to ring that little bell below. It'll make you feel good.